The story begins with a quiet woman walking into a busy bank holding a $25,000 check. The bank manager stares at her, suspicious, and without warning, he snatches the check and sets it on fire, right in front of her. He calls her a fraud, humiliates her publicly, and thinks he's in control. But what he doesn't know is that this unassuming woman isn't just any client. She owns the entire bank. It was supposed to be an ordinary morning at the downtown branch of Sterling National Bank. The hum of computers, the soft shuffle of paperwork, and the polite chatter of tellers filled the air. But that morning, the ordinary was about to shatter. Eleanora Vance walked in quietly, her sweater simple, her demeanor unassuming. She moved with a calm that contrasted sharply with the tension about to erupt. In her hand was a check, $25,000, freshly issued. Nothing flashy, nothing out of the ordinary. Just a normal transaction, or so it seemed. Arthur Finch, the bank manager, spotted her immediately. He was a man who prided himself on control, authority, and an unshakable sense of justice. Or at least, that's what he liked to believe. Finch had been in the banking world for over 20 years, and in all that time he had learned one truth: appearances never lied, and mistakes could not be tolerated. Eleanora approached the counter with her usual quiet confidence. Finch, standing behind the polished mahogany desk, took one look at the check and frowned. He had seen hundreds of checks, but something about this one made him uneasy. "This check, it doesn't look right," he said, his voice sharp, laced with suspicion. "You must be trying to deceive this bank." Eleanora looked at him, calm as ever. "I assure you, Mr. Finch, it's perfectly legitimate. You can verify it if you wish." But Finch wasn't in the mood for verification. He was in the mood for action. And in that moment, he made the gravest mistake of his career. NNHE grabbed the check from her hand, his fingers trembling with authority, and set it ablaze in the small metal tray on his desk. The flames curled and devoured the paper, black smoke rising toward the ceiling. "None, this is a forgery," he shouted, the words echoing through the bank. "You have no right to present this to me." GASPs echoed from the customers and tellers alike. Some froze in shock, others whispered anxiously. Eleanora's eyes never wavered. She simply watched, a faint smile playing on her lips, as her $25,000 vanished in smoke. "You dare burn my money," she said quietly, but there was steel hidden in her gentle tone. And Finch blinked, confused by her calm. Most people would have panicked, cried, or even run. But she didn't. She just stood there, composed, unshakable. And in that moment, Finch had no idea he was facing not a meek customer, but someone with unimaginable power. I am the manager here," Finch stammered. "I have to." "Stop," Eleanora interrupted, her voice firm. "I believe you need a lesson in humility." The room went silent. Every eye in the bank was on the confrontation. Finch felt a strange, creeping unease, the kind that comes when someone realizes they have underestimated the wrong person. Eleanora reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. She tapped a few keys and smiled, though no one else could see it. Within moments, the security cameras shifted, lights flickered, and a calm, authoritative voice spoke over the intercom. "This is Eleanora Vance, owner of Sterling National Bank. Mr. Arthur Finch, you are hereby relieved of all duties effective immediately." The room erupted in whispers. Finch's face went pale. He stumbled backward, gripping the edge of his desk for support. What are you saying?" Eleanora stepped closer, her presence commanding without needing to shout. "You just destroyed a legitimate check, accused a client falsely, and humiliated an innocent person. Such actions are unacceptable, and they come with consequences. You will answer for this, Mr. Finch." For a moment, Finch could only stare. The realization hit him like a thunderclap. The quiet woman in a simple sweater, the one he dismissed as ordinary, controlled everything. She owned the bank, every ledger, every account, every decision, and he had just insulted her publicly. Eleanora, I didn't know," he stammered, desperation creeping into his voice. "I thought what?" she interrupted. "That authority comes from arrogance? That power comes from fear. That's not how this works, Arthur. Real power doesn't scream. Real power acts with precision and patience. And dignity cannot be measured by the clothes you wear or the titles you hold." Tellers watched, stunned. Customers whispered to each other, their eyes wide with amazement. Finch's reputation, built over decades, was crumbling in minutes. "You have two choices," Eleanora continued, her voice calm but unyielding. "You can leave quietly, learn from your mistakes, and seek redemption, or you can try to resist and face the consequences in a far more humiliating way." Finch's mind raced. Pride fought against fear. 20 years of authority, of control, of imagining himself untouchable, all came crashing down. But as he looked at Eleonora, at the calm certainty in her eyes, he realized there was no resisting. The truth was clear. He had no control here. "And I'll resign," he muttered, voice barely audible. Eleonora nodded. "Good. Consider this a lesson in respect. Remember, arrogance and assumption are dangerous when you forget to look beneath the surface." As Finch gathered his things and walked toward the door, the bank returned to a strange sense of normalcy. But nothing would ever be ordinary again. Every employee knew, every customer sensed it. A quiet woman had reminded them all of the true meaning of power. Later, in her office, Eleonora sat back in her chair. She smiled faintly, looking at the ashes of the check Finch had destroyed. It was a small, symbolic act, proof that even someone with authority can falter when they judge hastily. NNSHE thought about Finch's face, the shock, the fear, the realization. And she knew that some lessons were best taught in a way that would never be forgotten. In the end, the incident was more than a simple confrontation over money. It was a reminder that the world often underestimates quiet strength, that dignity is not tied to wealth or appearance, and that sometimes, the person who seems ordinary holds the extraordinary power to change everything. NNTHE Bank continued its day. Transactions flowing, phones ringing, computers humming. But the story of that morning spread quickly. Customers and employees alike recounted the tale of the check that never was, and the woman who could have anything she desired, yet chose to teach a lesson instead. And for Arthur Finch, it was a day he would never forget. The day he learned that underestimating someone based on appearances could destroy everything he thought he controlled. Eleonora Vance returned to her quiet routine, unassuming on the surface but powerful in every action, every decision. Her message was clear: respect is earned, assumptions are dangerous, and true power never needs to announce itself. It simply exists, undeniable, unstoppable, and just. If you like please like and subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon for more beautiful stories.